Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. So today I'll be going through some transfer stories from Fabrizio Romano from his Twitter account. We'll be looking through them, and I'll go through some of these situations, as I've seen some things that I think are really showing some glaring issues for some teams. The number one thing that I can remember, it wasn't from Fabrizio, but I saw some story where Tottenham was actually looking to try and buy Richarlison, and I'm saying, okay, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, but you'd think that, well, as part of the deal that they'd want to try and acquire Richarlison, they're also trying to get Anthony Gordon. Now, Anthony Gordon isn't really just a winger. He could actually play in midfield. But I think Tottenham is really in need of more creative players in midfield. Tottenham's issues have been well documented. They have issues defending, and it's really defending from midfield. Midfield in the past didn't offer much protection, as Eric Dyer isn't at the top of his game anymore, so he has issues with that. They need a defensive midfielder. And they also need a creative playmaker. They lost Ericsson. Losing Ericsson was a big loss, and they still haven't filled that void, has it? The closest they went to filling that void was perhaps when Mourinho tried giving Ndombele a more free role. They tried, however, Ndombele has his limits currently. He has his limits. There was also the Argentine player they had brought in from PSG. No, he was brought in from the days where Pochettino was there. I'm saying the Argentine player because I can't remember his name right now. Funny enough, I'm an Argentina fan and I can't remember his name. Whoa. Speak about brain damage. So they tried with him. It didn't exactly work out as they would have wanted, but at the same time, I don't think that team was really built to bring out the best out of him. I don't think they were. So there were issues there, and at the same time, I don't think he and Ndombele were a good fit beside each other in the midfield. And then you have the issue of getting Oliver Skip, who I think is a very good player in terms of ball retention. He can do that very well. He could actually help control games for Tottenham. However, going forward now, you need more creative players. I thought honestly that that's what would have been the priority for them now. Well, not just that, but a creative playmaker and a centre back. Those two things are the biggest issues right now. And then after that, I would also look at getting a goalkeeper. That's something that they seriously should consider. A goalkeeper who is going to be at the top of his game within at least 2 seasons. Lloris isn't getting any younger. He isn't. Anyway, that being said, now back to Fabrizio Romano's page. So of course everyone has already heard Gabriel Jesus is now an Arsenal player. I think it was a good signing in terms of replacing. They managed to replace Alexander Lacazette, but I would actually like to see what Arteta does. I'm not sure I'd want to speculate as to how the team would line up, because there are some things for me that I think they should rethink. For example, Gabriel Martinelli, we all know he's playing out of position on the left wing. They're also in talks to get Rafinha from Leeds, which I think would be very good in a situation like that. I think perhaps Saka would end up playing on the left wing. Maybe Rafinha plays on the right wing, but either way, Gabriel Martinelli is best suited playing as centre forward. The one season he was played there for Arsenal when he had just arrived, he was actually performing well. But as they have it, then Aubameyang comes back. Then you have the issues where everyone knows Aubameyang is not that good with his back to goal, so teams start limiting the chances of Arsenal playing passes in behind for him to take advantage of the spaces. That goes, then they give up on the Aubameyang project. Moving forward, no, Lacazette just hasn't ever been the goal scorer that Arsenal needed him to be. He's never been that goal scorer that they needed. He's a good player, but Arsenal needs, for what Arsenal wants to achieve, they need a player who's going to give them 20 goals. Playing as a centre forward right now, they need someone who's going to give them 20 goals. No, neither Jesus or Martinelli have managed to do that in any of the past couple of seasons that they've been playing in England. But Arteta knows Jesus very well. It's a different club from when Martinelli was playing centre forward initially for Arsenal. It's a different team. You have 1 and 2 players who are still there from that time, but I would say the best bet is to have a battle between Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli for the centre forward position. I don't think you can lose there. Both players are similar in terms of their play style. They're very similar. Although I would say Gabriel Jesus seems to be the more polished player at the end of it. He's the more polished player, and also, yes, he's more experienced. But it'll be interesting to see what Arsenal does if they do get through with the Rafinha deal, because then I could see them. Let me not say I could see them. I would more say at that point, anything less than a finish outside of the top 6 seems like a failure. Then if you already have Jesus and you're going after Rafinha next, and if you get the Rafinha deal done, I don't see any excuses for you guys not to finish in top 6, at least in top 6. Some people say, oh, they should finish 1st to 4th, but let's be realistic. It seems a bit cliche to say, but there are only 4 teams that can go in the top 4 realistically. Last year, they had a chance. And whether you want to look at it that Manchester United underperformed or not, at the end of the day, they still had a chance. So, some people will use the argument that Manchester United underperformed. That's the reason why they had even that remote chance of getting into the top 4 by the back end of the season, but they still were almost there. It doesn't matter if this team or that team underperform, it just matters how you perform. Now, based on last season and then these transfers that they're getting, you keep every season, you can't afford to stay the same. You have to always build to get stronger, because your opponents aren't going to just sit there, they're going to try and get stronger. And this team with Gabriel Jesus in it, would I say they're better than when they had Lacazette? I would say yes, they are. And I think Odegaard has been showing signs that he's actually still growing, he's still maturing, still developing into his talents as a creative playmaker. He's being dominant for more stretches of games, and he's also becoming more consistent, which has helped Arsenal a lot last season. Yeah.